Hello, brilliant and embodied souls. My name is Kim. Welcome back to my channel. I have a review for all of you today. We are looking at the Solar Logos Tarot. This is a independently produced deck that recently came into my collection. I talked a little bit about it in my mid-year tarot check-in. Definitely visit that tag if you're curious about the other decks that I'm working with and, my mid-year reflections. This deck, as I mentioned in that video, is really captured my heart. It is so very beautiful, and I want to bring more attention to this deck because I don't know if a lot of people are aware of it. I did purchase it on Etsy. The creator is very kind, was lovely to work with. I ordered the deck kind of in between printings, and her name is Carrie. Carrie was just so lovely and kept me informed about the process of getting the deck. So, it was just a lovely experience. And I can feel the attention and the love that went into this deck. And those are my favorite decks. So we're going to take a look at this beauty together. Here, of course, are the backs. We are going to look at the cards. There is a digital guidebook that comes with it. I'll circle back to that. And then finally, we will check out some pairings so that you can see who wants to be friends with this gorgeous deck. Okay, so let's get into these cards. So this is tarot size. The cardstock is probably 330 GSM. It's very bendy, flexible. It has this lovely kind of waxy feel to it. It is a pleasure to shuffle. We have splashes of color, lots of gold. Of course, this black and white or sometimes sepia toned illustrations. Each of the suits has a color theme. So, that said, the pentacles do have more green typically, but the wands are red and yellow. The cups are blue, and the swords are... What color were the swords? I'm blanking. Anyway, we'll find out. But you can see just the beauty of these illustrations. There was a lot of time and intention put into all of these illustrations. This is clearly a deck that is based in the Rider-Waite Smith tradition or family. So it's a Golden Dawn deck. The thing I want to say about that at this moment, though, is it has stripped out all of the Abrahamic religious symbolism. And that might really bug some people, but for me, that is actually super welcome. I am not somebody who considers themselves a ceremonial magician. I'm not especially enamored with occultism based in Abrahamic streams. So this deck taps me into a more earth-based, elemental, sorcery, and maybe witchcraft world. It's more of a place, it's more of a time, it's more of the human essence. You can see from these beautiful illustrations that there's so much emotion happening in this deck. The people are very diverse. I'll come back to some of the things that I really like about this deck and some of the things that I don't as much with some specific cards. But for the most part, this deck has a lot of diversity, and it feels timeless. Like, look at this death card. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Like this, it's just, it's so beautiful. And like I said, there's a timelessness about this deck. The people on the one hand feel modern, but on the other hand, they feel ancient. They feel cross-cultural. There's a good amount of age diversity within this deck. There's also, like ethnic and racial diversity. I love the folks who are modern. They feel just really vibrant. Oh yeah. And since we are on two major cards, right? We don't have the zodiacal business going on here in the Wheel of Fortune. We don't this strength card feels like incredibly different. Like there's a unification with our animal nature as opposed to fighting our more instinctual and animal nature. So the symbolic language of this deck feels a lot more welcoming. It feels a lot more affirming and generative as opposed to like denying and concretive. Is that a word? It should be. This deck is based in the idea of solar logos, the wisdom and knowledge that comes from the light. So the essence of this deck is very solar in nature. It feels very actionable. It feels like a deck that is very mundane, yet highly, highly versatile. When I've put this deck through its paces, it has been able to read for all manner of topics. It's great for relationships. It's great for business. It's phenomenal for daily draws. It's really great at spiritual path kinds of readings. Like this deck can really do it all, and I'm not kidding. It just feels so incredibly versatile to me. Uh, I mean, yes, we have like a Mott uh ode going on here in this Justice card, but for the most part, this deck just feels very agnostic. Um, or again, just like rooted in maybe like modern paganism, which works really, really well for me. The elemental associations are just really, really spot on. Yeah, it's a very successful deck. The other thing I really like about this deck is it's hippie chic. What can I say? I love a good hippie chic deck. That's my aesthetic. I've always identified as like an earth loving, nature loving person. The types of like clothing and aesthetics that I lean into are of that ilk. I love psychedelic rock. I have loved and have fallen out of love. This is a story for another time, like with yoga and some of the Eastern religions that can often influence that kind of granola person. um so this deck just feels like very me. It feels very earth-based but also sacred. Like check out this King of Cups. Like, right, he is so like, I know people who look like this. You know, these are my friends. I love that world. And can it be like a touch new age? Yes, definitely. But this deck feels like check out the floor in this particular card. There feels like there's a nature-based magic infused within the deck, and that is coming from this idea of the solar logos. So solar energy is energy that has some of the qualities that I mentioned, right? It's action oriented. It wants you to see things clearly. There's a invitation to use our logic, to use our reason, to embrace the full capabilities and capacities that humans have. This deck feels tapped into all of what I just said. And I could see this deck being a great foil to more dreamy, more liminal, more moon-based decks, such as my beloved Circle of Doors. These decks have actually been pairing really, really well together. I'll circle back to that momentarily. Let's just take a look at a few more cards. This isn't going to be a full flip through, excuse me. But you'll get a sense of this deck through the cards that I am showing. It is just so, so, so beautiful. Look at that beautiful Fool. Oh, the illustrations just really, really tap into the essence of the cards. We do have some of the Smith Waite laziness going on, like this Eight of Wands, like boring. You guys, if you've been around my channel, know how I feel about the Eight of Wands. This one has been phoned in, but at least it has some personality that alludes to the quality of the Eight of Wands. But so many of the other cards just are very, well thought out, well executed. And oh my God, look at this tower. Oh, like such a psychologically oriented tower. In terms of how it reads, it is great for divinatory readings. It's great for psychological readings. As I said earlier, it really can address all manner of topics. It feels so rooted in the human experience. We've got a lot of age diversity, as I had mentioned. We've got young people, we've got young adults, we've got middle-aged adults, and then we do have a few elders. So it's really, really beautiful. It's a really, really beautiful deck. Okay, so let's talk about some specific cards. I'll start with some of the things that are not great about this deck, and then I'll talk about some cards that are specifically wonderful. Let's start with the first big issue that I have with this deck, and that is represented here with the Lovers card. I don't necessarily have a issue with this Lovers card. It's showing two people connecting. There isn't that other potential reading of choice in here per se, but I guess you could read choice in terms of the circles, and right, maybe there's a choice to remain where you are or move into this new portal that is being opened via the connection that two people bring together. A new third is being generated between these two people. So I can work with the content here, but this card does represent the fact that there's a lot of body beautiful going on in this deck. There are no people of different body sizes in this deck. everybody is very thin, and that's a problem. I want to see different body types represented in my decks, and that's not happening, which is a bummer to me. Another bummer is sometimes the symbolic language feels a little repetitive. There's a lot of people meditating or in meditative positions. This high priestess and this empress, like it's not totally the same gesture and body language, but they're both like kind of looking up and tilting their heads, and there's something very repetitive about this to me. There is differences, of course, but I think symbolically speaking, there could have been more differentiation between the high priestess and the empress going on here. It's not like these two cards demonstrate how there's a little bit of opportunity for more imagination and in terms of like how the energies of specific cards were depicted. So this is a little bit of a fail for me. And then finally, we have the Emperor card, which again speaks to the fact that there's a lot of people in meditative positions within this deck, which is okay, but this does not read Emperor whatsoever to me. And I think what I'm going to do is modify this card. I think I'm going to sketch in maybe a crown or something. And that could work for me because right now I'm seeing the Emperor energy in a slightly less positive, manipulative, and aggrandized way. So if I put a crown on this guy, I think it would say cult leader. And that actually kind of works for me with the Emperor energy. You can kind of see I've got some things to work through with when it comes to authority figures at present. But at any rate, it just I don't let this Emperor card doesn't feel Emperor. And when you compare it to say like the Hermit card, which I didn't pull out of the deck, but this could be the Hermit. And I actually really like the Hermit in this particular deck because the Hermit would be sitting and meditating, wouldn't they? But not necessarily the Emperor. Or wouldn't it be great if emperors were more like this individual? I would much prefer that, but I don't know, like there's just something a little bit missing in terms of like that stream of leadership, that stream of assertiveness and planfulness and leadership, like that's missing in this deck, and this card is representative of that for me. All right, those are my issues with the deck. Let's talk about some cards that I just really adore. I mean, there's so many cards that I really adore, but this right here shows where the deck shines. There are a lot of progressions within the deck that make a lot of sense, like the Two of Wands and the Three of Wands. There is a big difference, right? This guy is thinking about what he's going to do. He's creating a plan. He's differentiating a strategy and action such that he can put his passions into into action, right? Like that is very clearly represented in this card, whereas this Three of Wands, like and it could be like the same person, and that's what I mean by a great progression. The people in this deck often kind of like show up again, if that makes sense. Like not maybe entirely, like you could see these as two different people, but I'm like actually I want to say that this guy let his hair, like, this is a fast forward to maybe a couple of months or like a year or something later. He's grown out his hair. He's got it in a man bun. Love a man bun. It could also be a woman. But at any rate, there's a real distinction, right? This is somebody who has put their plans into action and things are happening, which is more of like the Three of Wands energy. So this is very successful to me. There's a lot of great storytelling that makes a lot of sense within the symbolic language of this deck. So, so, so good. All right, another card that I absolutely love is this Ten of Swords. Yes, the Ten of Swords is about endings and the finale, the finale or definitive stopping or ending of something. But when you've got 10 swords stuck in someone, that feels very aggressive. And this is a minor card that we're talking about, right? The 10 of Swords is sometimes like more scary than the Death card. And that doesn't make sense to me personally. The major arcana need to have the weight and the gravitas of the themes. Whereas for me, the minor cards are more the stuff of our everyday. So this Ten of Swords is actually incredibly successful because the swords are stuck into the sand. I mean, there's a very clear surrendering to something ending, something is in the past. We are moving on to the next suit, the next card in the reading as an example. It's very successful to me. But right, this guy is going to get up. He's not dead. He's not totally eviscerated by the swords. And I like that so much better, especially when I read for others. Like, this is going to be a great deck to read for others. I haven't read for anybody else yet with this deck because I wanted to put it through its paces. I wanted to like learn the deck and get to know it. But oh my gosh, like, this deck is going to love reading for others. And when I read for others, I don't want a Ten of Swords with all the swords stuck in somebody. I just don't. Like, that's not like that kind of thing freaks people out. And like, people don't need that when they're asking about the future, when they're asking about issues in their life that are really sensitive. Because when people seek a tarot reading, there's something on the line, and yes, can our futures be tenuous? Can there be scary things ahead? Yes, but why disempower people? So this Ten of Swords feels more empowering to me, and I love that. I think it's super successful. Okay, let's talk a little bit about guidebook. Sorry, guidebook. Okay, I'm not going to talk too much about the guidebook. You get a digital guidebook that has a QR code that you scan to access. It is a really well put together guidebook. It's very nice. The minor cards have very basic rudimentary explanations. The minors have much more explanation. And I would say it's a good guidebook. Nothing to write home about, other than, it does acquaint you with the themes of the deck. That's all I'll say about that. The deck comes in this like bland white box. That's cool for people who, put their decks in bags or other storage situations. Money wasn't spent on a box that maybe some people just don't even use. So that's okay. Like it kept, maybe not having a fancy box kept the costs down for the creator, which is fantastic. Okay, let's talk pairings. And I've got some awesome oracle decks that I've discovered go oh so well with the solar logos. Okay, first we have Sacred Rebels. I've been using this deck. Oh my gosh, like check out the backs together. Oh, right? So good. I've been using these together because like the Sacred Rebels has a lot of sacred geometry. This deck has sacred geometry, you know, like check that out. Like that is so good. The art styles are very complementary. The colors just go so well together. This deck does have some of those more monochromatic cards, which tie it into the solar logos very well. Yes, just gorgeous. There's a lot of similar symbolism going on, you know, butterflies, hand gestures. They're just speaking a really similar language. The messages of the Sacred Rebels with this deck just make a lot of sense. Like, again, this is a solar logos tarot, so this deck is all about like taking action, you know, getting your dreams out into the world, and that is very much what the Sacred Rebels is all about. Yeah, like what do you feel? What can you learn from that? Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay, let's go on to another pairing that I've tried, and then we'll get into a few that I have not. I have the Illuminated Earth Oracle, and let me just shuffle. There's something about wanting to shuffle. And again, like check out the backs just look really nice together. Oh, like, oh my gosh, like check that out. Oh, right. Oh my God. Influence, the Nine of Wands and Chariot. I mean, right? Oh, like that is so good. That is just so good. Yeah, and like the greens in this deck go really well with the yellows and reds, and like just the color tonality within the solar logos just really makes a lot of sense. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, they sing together. Yeah. The other thing that's cool about this particular pairing, the Illuminated Earth has a lot of textures. And I would actually say the solar logos also represents a lot of textures. Right, this feels very like jagged, and this is very windy and arid. It makes a lot of sense from that other way of communicating, like the textures within each of the decks is another form of communication. Like, oh yeah. They are very good together. All right, next pairing, which is the last one that I had mentioned, and that is, you know, tarot with tarot. I'm just going to show these two decks together, but again, I mean, like the backs, right? Ooh, so good. the Circle of Doors is a very liminal deck. It can be very direct and concise when that's what I need. This is a highly versatile deck. But it is definitely a lunar deck. It's a very feminine deck, whereas the Solar Logos has a lot of men and male presenting folks within it, whereas the Circle of Doors generally has femme presenting or identified folks. So the contrast between these decks is very, very nice. They both are hippie chic. They both are very much of a particular aesthetic. Here, I'm gonna go like that. But they do have some significant differences, which I just said, right? This is very snappy and fast, whereas you can linger a very, very long time with the Circle of Doors. I think they would make they make a very nice foil to one another. So something that I have experimented with is, having the Circle of Doors as like my lunar aspect, and then having the Solar Logos be my solar aspect. So that's making a really interesting reading combo that I've been having a lot of fun with. Oh, see, okay, I don't know, sometimes they just, they bring different things to the table, right? The Circle of Doors, Nine of Cups, is very much about the union of others, right? And the joy and like the deep, like spiritual ritual that can take place in our relationships with others, whereas this Nine of Cups is a little bit more realized on our own. The emotional fulfillment that we can attain just by ourselves, so yeah, I don't know, they just have like a really great synergy going on, a foil, if you will, going on. Okay, I've got just 2 more decks to show you. I have not checked these out with the Solar Logos, so we're just gonna see what's what. Here I have the Lantern Oracle. I think the art styles could work really, really well together, as well as the color palette. Also, backs, again. Loving, 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 loving. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a potent message right there. Loss. Yeah, I feel like these go really, really well together. And again, you'd maybe have more of a like in the light, in the dark scenario with these decks. Creative power. Oh, wow. Yeah, the color palettes, just the more realistic art styles, so good. Oh yeah, just the messages. They're total buds. Yeah, they dig each other. They dig each other. Yeah, definitely. Oh, I love it when you find decks within your collection that just sing with other decks. It's just so good. Okay, I'm just gonna put a few more of these cards so we can look at our last pairing. The final deck is the Talisman Oracle. Again, I'm not sure. these will go together. The Talisman Oracle is has a lot of animal energy, but it has these very detailed and magical, oops, sorry, I just bumped the camera. You know, these like very sigil-esque representations, which feel, you know, which the solar logos also has going on. So, and you know, the dark backgrounds, concealment. Oh yes, 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 yes. As I said, the Talisman Oracle has a lot more animal energy, and the solar logos is very people centered. So, oh yeah, cast away negativity. Oh yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, that feels complementary to me, because the Talisman Oracle has objects and animals, and then the solar logos has like tons and tons of people, which to me like would really, really work. Grounding. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, these go together so well. I'm loving it. Yeah. This is I've got a lot of really good pairings with this deck, which again, like just speaks to its versatility. This is such a versatile deck. The final deck that I think would pair very well with the solar logos, but I do not have, is the Soul Mirror Oracle. I saw Sylvie at Fairlight Tarot. I think I have that right. She was the one who introduced me to the Solar Logos Tarot, and she had some really cool pairings. Just a couple, not tons. But she did show this deck with the Soul Mirror, and it looked awesome. The Soul Mirror is on my list, but you know, so many decks, so little time. So we have to make our choices. But these together are amazing. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for joining me for this review. Please let me know what you think of this deck in the comments. What would you pair with it? What are your thoughts and feelings? I would love to know. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next video. Sending all kinds of love. Bye for now.